good afternoon. It gives me immense pleasure to warmly welcome to the 25th webinar of Faculty of Homeopathy at Parul University. Though we have started with offline classes, we continue with a series of webinars so as to bring the brilliant speakers of homeopathy to share their knowledge with learners of homeopathy. We are fortunate to have the constant motivation of our President, Dr. Devanshu Patel Sir, and Director of Ayush Colleges, Dr. Komal Patel Ma'am. And of course, our more than 1,000 viewers in each webinar. Such constant process of teaching and learning is possible because of the core team of my colleagues, namely Dr. Purav Desai, the Dean of Homeopathic Faculty and the Principal of Jawaharlal Nehru Homeopathic Medical College, Dr. B.P. Panda Sir, the Principal of Parul Institute of Homeopathy and Research, Dr. Hitat Mehta Sir, the Principal of Rajkot Homeopathic Medical College, and myself, Dr. Hina Rawal, Principal of Ahmedabad Homeopathic Medical College. Our today's speaker is Dr. Lingaraja. He is a professor and PG guide in Department of Organon of Medicine and Homeopathic Philosophy, a member secretary in Institutional Ethics Committee, Dean of Examination, Chairman of Research Committee, as well as Ethics Committee, and is in charge of the third criteria of research, consultancy, and extension at NEC at Bhartesh Homeopathic Medical College and Hospital, Belgaum. Sir was a resource person for Educational Methodology Continuous Assessment Workshop from Department of Organon of Medicine, as well as a mentor in research methodology for PG students appointed by Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Bangalore. His current research project is on RCT Azadirachta indica in the prevention of dental caries in school-going children, sponsored by Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences. Sir is also the member of Review Board, Journal of Integrated Standardized Homeopathy. Sir is a member of Board of Studies of UG and PG at RGUS at Bangalore. Sir has attended, he is the program coordinator of ROTP, Department of Organon Module 2, which was organized by Central Council of Homeopathy. He is the program coordinator of Homeopathic Medical Education Technology, organized by CCH. He has attended short courses in educational methodology for Ayush teachers, organized by the university. He is the committee member of curriculum regarding MD homeopathy as well as regarding the redesigning of BHMS courses. He has attended many workshops and is publishing regular articles in different national journals as well as in newspaper. He was a guest faculty at various workshops as well as CMEs in different colleges of Belgaum. Sir has participated in many international conferences and workshops. Right now, Sir is also the UG and PG examiner at the Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, as well as Vinayaka Mission and Goa University, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. It's my pleasure to warmly welcome Sir for today's webinar. Please, Dr. Lingaraja, Sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam.
Slides.
Yes, the presentation has started, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon to one and all. And thank you, Dr. Hina Rawal, madam, and Parul University for giving me opportunity to present on temperaments and its practical utility. The main principle of homeopathy is that each human being is different and unique. Homeopathy treats the patient and not the disease. So there is no universal thumb rule to apply to all the patients. So how we are going to do it? Because it is very easy to tell that we have to individualize the patient, but we must have something to individualize as a thumb rule. For that, temperament is one of the topic on which we can individualize the patient easily. So next slide. Yeah. The study of temperament. This is a temperament. You can see the pictures says about the temperament in day-to-day life. Also, we see most of the people behavior, attitude, and everything is different. Why it is different? Because of their temperament. Next slide, sir. So the study of temperament can throw a light on the following: what we are made of, who we really are, why we react as we do, what are our strengths and our weaknesses. So many times it happens like some of the people behavior or their attitude towards something is different. We say that why they behaving so differently. It is only the temperament is playing a role. It is not about their behavior or the anything. Only temperament makes a difference. So before understanding of the temperament, we must understand what is constitution. So next slide. So what is it? Does constitution mean? And already we all know the term constitution comes from the Latin word constituere, constitute, to set up, to establish, to form or make up, to appoint, to give being to. The constitution is the natural condition of the body and or mind disposition, the inherent nature. Most of the time, we see constitution and temperaments are same, but constitution and temperaments are relative close relatives. You may be seeing the people, the mother who was shy, may be having a son of aggressive nature. Why so much of change? We see two twins who born in the same environment, upbringing is same, their diet and nutrition is same, their social status is same, but still they are different because the temperament is playing a role. So before that, what is diathesis? Because most of the people get confused between the constitution, temperament, and diathesis. Diathesis is the constitutional or inborn state disposing to a disease, group of diseases or metabolic or structural anomaly. So this is more towards the structural change, and constitution includes everything. The next slide. So we can divide the constitution into two parts. First is mentals and the second is physical. In the mentals, temperament that we consider the mental genders and personality. And physicals, general are craving, aversion, thermals, etc. And the diatheses are rheumatic, hemorrhagic, gouty, bilious, etc. So now, looking at this chart, we can able to understand what is the difference between the constitution and the temperament. Temperament is part of a constitution. They are not the same. Constitution consists of mental and physicals, and mentals is temperament and the personality. It is very easy for the practitioner to take a note of or easily elicit the problem arises in understanding the mental makeup, but we can easily elicit the physical symptoms. But temperament is a one tool to understand about the nature of a person. So next. So what is temperament? According to Stedman's Medical Dictionary, psychological and biological organization peculiar to the individual, including one's character or personality, predisposition which influence the manner of thoughts, action, and the general view of life. So meaningful it is, like it is psychological and biological organization peculiar to the individual. That is why I say that homeopathy principle is individualization. We tell each and everyone is unique. Based on that only we prescribe medicines. So temperament make a person different. It includes one character and personality and predisposition, and which leads to the general view of the life. Each and every temperament general view of a life is different, which we are going to learn further. Next. So, what is a temperament according to Webster Universal Dictionary? Specific and intense, passionate, nature, and character. So, next. So, now the thing comes out, what is a temperament and what is a personality? So many times it's come to our mind like constitution and temperaments are same. Now we clarified that what is constitution and what is a temperament. Now the question mark comes in front of us is what is temperament and the personality? It is very simple. Our temperament take form according to our genetic material. So whatever you are born, that is the genetic material. The temperament is the real me. Whatever I am, it is my temperament. The question which arises in the mind is that how temperament is different from personality. Now we are telling real me is a temperament, then what is the personality? Personality is a trace one puts on our oneself. It is the overall facade that we portray, the attire and the clothes that we wear, how we groom ourselves, the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we sit, and the way we speak. So, personality is the real me, and whatever we are showing to the world is real me is a temperament, and whatever we are showing to the world is a personality. The best example is that the person who is in the bathroom, it's his temperament. Once he comes out of the bathroom, the personality changes because you meet your brother and sister, that is the personality. You don't show what real you are. You meet your parents, you are a son. You meet your spouse, you may be husband and wife. You meet your sons, you are different. When you come out of the home, you are different. You may be the friend, you may be a teacher, you may be a doctor. So, whatever real I am, that I know, that is your temperament. What we modify according to the situation, that is your personality. The next. So the personality is what we see, the outer shell of the coconut. The person in the bathroom is the real Mr. X and not the one portrayed in the boardroom. That I gave an example. We are all born with our temperament traits, our raw material, our own base, but personality is something which can be changed, developed, or enhanced. We all born with our temperament traits, our raw material, our own base, but personality is something which can be changed, developed, or enhanced. Some of us may be granite, we may be marble, or we may be sandstone. Our type of base, that is the temperament, does not change, but our shapes can be altered according to our circumstances, nationality, financial status, environment, parental influence, and IQ can mold our personality, but the base underneath remains the same. That usually I give the example that the temperament is not going to change. The best example is that 31st December. 31st December to next day onwards, the new year starts. So many people make new resolutions. Many people make a resolution that tomorrow onwards I am going to speak less. Or some people make resolution that I will be more social. Or some people will make resolutions that I will going to be more active compared to these years. But first, 2nd January is over. Next onwards, what we do, we come back to our normal thing because that is your temperament. If you are going to speak, you belong to sanguine temperament. Nobody can stop you speaking. If you are a melancholic temperament, if anybody wants to speak also, you make that person to keep silent because you are not going to give any reaction. So temperament is the raw material which we are having and personality which we can change. We can modify it according to the situation around us. The next. The next slide.
Ravi, Ravi. Slide change not thirty. Sharing क्या
रोलिंग कराइए, मेक इट रोल.
The next slide. Yeah. Temperament is not behavior. Behavior results from the combination of the things, temperament, environment, decision we have made, things we have learned, and experience we have had. So these all makes the behavior of a person. Temperament is not a behavior. Temperament is only a raw material. And whatever the shape change is, it depends on the all these things about the environment, decision we have made, things we have learned, and experience we have had. The next. So you just click outside and yes, sir. Next slide. Yeah. So now we are going to study about the different types of temperament. There are 5 types: sanguine, choleric, melancholic, phlegmatic, and the nervous. So next slide. So sanguine temperament, as the picture says, is an extrovert, talker, and optimistic. So next. Sanguine is a people's person, very vivacious. They always manage to have fun. If whatever the disaster is also there, they can make it a fun situation. They will not be tied down to relationships or to any one activity, and hence are social butterflies. Usually, sanguine temperament is but social butterflies. They have to fun. They make it a point to have a fun, and they're not tied up with any relationship. If somebody is having fun somewhere and he feels that he is going to be having a good enjoyment somewhere, he never ever stay in the same place. He go to the next place. They live for the day. They will never find them worrying about the future, nor are they saddled with the baggage of past. So many times it happens like somebody insulted us or something goes wrong. We never go back to them. Maybe the choleric temperament or the melancholic temperament, they will not forget that. But this person will forget, and he will never think about what has happened previously. He just move on according to their situation. They are exuberant, and even their anger is effervescent, easily dispelled, leaving behind no memory or a grudge. They get irritated, but immediately forget it also. And anger is also depend on the situation. But immediately they forget it, and they don't have any memory, and they don't keep any grudge on anyone. The next. So what are the weaknesses of sanguine temperament? Vanity and self-complacency. These people have too much of pride about themselves because they think that they can attract the people like a magnet. They think whatever they say, people will follow, and everyone wants them. And actually, whenever they are in the party or anywhere, if they are absent, their absence can be noted in the party, but not in any social or important discussion. So these are the people are like a social butterfly who are moving from one place to other place. They want to have a fun, and they have a very good pride about themselves. Second, their weakness is inclination to flirtation, jealousy, and envy. Why they are jealous and envy? Because of their self-pride. They are proud of themselves so much so that they never tolerate anybody speaking against them. They lack their deep spirituality. As already I said, that these people are not going to tie up with any relationship because they always want to have a fun with the people. So they don't have any they don't have lack deep spirituality and lead to the external and is willing to accept flatteries. However, his love is not deep and changes easily. These are the typical people. We can use the word the playboy people belongs to the sanguine temperament who flirt with anyone, who can make anybody to fall in love with them. And these people are not attached to one people. They go on changing from one person to another person. Because of this vanity and tendency to love affair, leads the sanguine person to jealous and envy. They are more towards showing themselves about the clothes, and they want to attract people by the look, not by the work. Another their weakness is cheerfulness, inordinate love and pleasure. The sanguine person does not like to be alone. They always want company. You know they are talkative. They can speak to the stone also. These are the people always want some or the other person to be around them. So next. The strength of the sanguine temperament. The sanguine is an extrovert. He readily makes acquainted with other people. He is very communicative, loquacious, and associate easily with strangers. These are the people who are very happy to make a friends, and they easily acquaint with anyone. The people who, if you are traveling in a train, the person who starts sitting next to you and starts speaking, and make a good friend of you, this is a sanguine temperament. Another one weakness is that they forget easily. He is friendly in speech and behavior and can pleasantly entertain his fellow men by his interesting narrative and witticism. So that is why this person is very funny and he is like a social butterfly. So next. So what are the rubrics for the sanguine temperament? You can see elements from excitement and emotional. Why excitement? Because they get excited for all easy things. The sanguine temperament is a person, if the person is in a traditional attire attending one of the function, maybe in a dhoti, he is attending a one function, somebody tells that we can go to a track. He never mind, he immediately go from this function to that because he feels that going to the trekking is more funful. And they get excited easily. Loquacity, vivacious, cheerful, company desire for terrorizing because they are not practical at all. They go on terrorizing. They promise many people. They are forgetful, careless, thoughts flow of rush. So these are some of the rubrics which belongs to sanguine temperament. Remedied like ferrum, phosphorus, lachesis, coffea would predominantly indicate the sanguine temperament. These are the remedies which predominantly indicate the sanguine temperament. Not a single remedy is having a single temperament. The remedies will be having a picture of different temperament. But these are the remedies that are having predominantly about the sanguine temperament. So these are the people are very important. Not only temperament help us to prescribe. These are the temperament help us to understand the person very well and how we can manage the people very well. For the job description also, if you understand about the temperament, okay, the sanguine temperament is very good in a front desk officer. May I help you? Because once anybody enter, there will be very warm, they are very social, they can make attract the people inside, and they are very good. If somebody shout at them also, they will forget it and they go to the next. Not like a choleric and a melancholic temperament. So sanguine temperament people are very talkative, and job wise they fit into the front desk officer or the people who are interact with the social people. They can understand it in a very better. In a movie character like Jab We Met, Kareena Kapoor, the picture, some of the character of Kareena Kapoor in Jab We Met belongs to sanguine temperament, who she used to speak a lot. She was she used to speak a lot, very cheerful, always company desire for theorizing also. She used to tell so many theories about. I still remember one scene like Shahid Kapoor enter inside her home and she tells that you can marry my sister, usko leke bhag jao. This can only sanguine temperament person can do it. Careless. This is a typical about the sanguine temperament. The next slide. Next, the boss of the all the temperament is choleric temperament. They're extrovert, doer, and optimistic. Sanguine temperament person is an extrovert, talker, and optimistic. He is also positive. That person is a positive. But sanguine temperament will not do any work. He only speaks because they create a theory. But he is a boss who does and he speaks and he is optimistic. The next. Choleric temperament. Person with a choleric temperament conjure up an image of authoritative, dominating, resourceful, and confident being. They are very confident, they are authoritative, and they are dominating. Why they are dominating? Why they are authoritative? Why they are confident? Because they are resourceful. They are the doers. The boss can have all these qualities. Next, sir. They are adventurous, confident, powerful people. They are good decision makers, born leader as they are innately. So just take. Okay, these are the people who are adventurous. Whatever the obstacle comes into their path, they will come out of the obstacles. They know how to catch the people. They know how get work done by the people. They are good decision makers and a born leader. They have all the qualities of leaders. The next. What are the weaknesses of choleric temperament? Each and every temperament is having a strength and the weaknesses. They are having a too much of superiority complex. They are full of himself. They know about their good qualities and successful work. Stubborn. He is always right. Always the choleric temperament says that I am always correct. Self-confidence. Depended too much upon his own knowledge and ability. Sanguine temperament is going to speak, but the choleric temperament speak less, he do the thing, he is full of resourceful, and he never ever take the decision of anyone. He always believe in himself. He thinks that other people are not worthy and they are ignorant, they are weak, unskilled, and slow. They are having this kind of superiority complex. Anger. Choleric temperament person is going to be very angry. Why? Because they want to get work done by immediate. They don't have that much of patience. Why they are anger? Whenever they're telling anything, sorry, people must do it. Their colleagues or their superiors or their subordinate staff must listen to them. They never ever take order from anyone, and contradiction aggravates everything. If somebody contradicts, he make it a point to throw them out of the organization. Because of their superiority complex and their proud feeling, they are deceit, disguise, and hypocrisy. Why? because they want to get work done. They may do anything. वो कौन सा भी चाल कहाँ पे भी करके अपना काम करके ले. They don't have any sympathy. They have a lack of sympathy because they want work to be done. If one of the employee is not well, calls to a boss. If boss belongs to sanguine temperament, he is a talker. The employee call and tell that I am not well. The sanguine temperament person having a favoritism because whoever flirt with him, whoever praised him, he feels good. So that person belongs to his good book. So automatically leave is sanctioned and he go on speaking about all the gossiping about the office. And he tells that you take proper rest. But choleric temperament person speaks very less and he asks that why you are not coming, and he gets irritated because his work will be hampered. They don't have any sympathy for anyone. The next. Strength of choleric temperament. The choleric is very successful in his professional work. Being of an active temperament, he feels a continuous inclination to activity and occupation. They are very successful as they are more resourceful. They are confident enough. So in the professional work, they do everything properly. They're not dependent on anyone. If he is a boss, if the peon is not cleaned the table, he not dependent on him. He comes and clean the table, but he get irritated also. But he do the work. Only the choleric temperament aim is to finish the work. And they know how to get work done by other people. If nobody is working on them, what they will do, they know how to do that work. The next. He cannot be without work, and he works quickly and diligently. In his enterprise, he is full of courage in spite of obstacles. He always works. That is why he wants employees also to work. If any obstruction comes in between, he is the person who wants to solve that obstacle first. He wants to reach that goal, means he will reach that goal. The next. Without hesitation, he can be placed in difficult post and everything can be entrusted to him. In his speech, the choleric is brief and definite. He abhors useless repetition. You can give any work to him. You can replace anyone with him. Any work is given, any difficult work is given. He is a person who gets work done or he will do the work. He is very brief and definite. He abhors useless repetition. Just imagine if the choleric temperament and sanguine temperament person are working together, what will be the condition of that organization? The sanguine temperament is person who speaks theories and the choleric temperament speaks very less and he is a doer. Their brevity and positiveness, firmness in speech and appearance gives him a great deal of authority, especially engaged in educational work. Because they are very, very much dominating, they are brave, they are too much of positivity and firmness in speech and great authority. If they engaged in the educational work, they can be successful anywhere. So next. So these are the rubrics of choleric temperament. Element from anger and vexation, industrious, contradiction, intolerance of, haughty, malicious, destructive, impatient, capriciousness, dictatorial, quarrelsome, thoughts, ideas abundant, clearness of mind. The remedies like lycopodium, veratrum album, nux vomica, bryonia will be predominantly belongs to choleric temperament. You learn the lycopodium contradiction aggravates all the complaints. These are the rubrics of choleric temperament. In the movie, like I think that movie name is Ladla, where Sridevi played a boss role, she belongs to choleric temperament. And she always used to tell Sheetal industry to be the top one industry. She was very much punctual working. She doesn't have any sympathy for anyone. If somebody is not well, she used to tell that you have to come and report to the office. If you're not well, it doesn't mean you have to sit at home. She wanted to get work done, everything. This temperament traits are seen in that movie. And choleric temperament person is a boss. You cannot keep this choleric temperament person as a frontline officer. If he becomes a frontline officer, nobody will enter inside because he has a dominating nature. Frontline officer is always belongs to a sanguine temperament, and a choleric temperament is a boss who can handle everyone. The next. Melancholic temperament, introvert, thinker, and pessimistic. All those sanguine and the choleric temperament are extroverts and optimistic, but melancholic temperament is an introvert, thinker, and pessimistic. The next. Melancholic temperaments are thinkers. Sanguine temperament person is speaker. Choleric temperament is a person who do the work, and the melancholic temperament is a thinker. They are people. They are the people serious purpose, dedicated in order and organization, appreciative of beauty and intelligence. They do the work. They dedicate themselves and order to their organization. They are creative. They are fastidious and thorough. All men of genius are of melancholic temperament. They are the writers, artists, and musicians. These are the people who dedicated for their orders and the organization. Who gives the order? The order will be given by a choleric temperament. And this person follow his order because he think and he is very fastidious. He is intelligent and he appreciates each and everything. Melancholic temperament is very straightforward person. What is positive, what is negative, he tells on the face. Same like a choleric temperament. The next. Inexpressiveness. He is reserved. He finds it difficult to form any acquaintances and speak little among the strangers. Just see the difference of sanguine and the melancholic temperament. Sanguine temperament is easily acquainted with everyone, but the melancholic temperament is very difficult to acquaint with the new people. And they never speak with, they very little speaks with the strangers. But on the other side, because of that negative nature, they are underutilized their talent. The pride of the melancholic has its very peculiar side. He does not seek any honor and recognition. On the contrary, he is loath to appear in public and to be praised. These are the people who are not a public speaker. These are the people who don't want to come on the screen. They always work back of the screen because they don't want any recognition and any honor. Because these are the people who think and who work. They are not proud of anything. The next. Unforgiving nature and lack of assertiveness. He can hardly forgive offenses. The first offense he ignores quite easily, but renewed offenses penetrate deeply into the soul and can hardly be forgotten. Strong aversion easily takes root in his heart against the person from whom he has suffered or in whom he finds this and that fault. That is why this person is want to be alone. He don't want to mix with any other people because he always make it a point to be alone because when somebody hurt him, definitely will not opt to go with them again. They are having a pathological fastidiousness because they do everything very systematically. They are the thinkers. So they have a pathological fastidiousness. The next. Melancholic temperament. He is willing to make great sacrifices for his neighbor and is strong and unshakable in the battle of ideals. Whatever the ideals are there, whatever the morals are there, whatever the things are there, he is not unshakable. But sanguine temperament is totally 180-degree opposite. He sacrifices for the neighbors or he sacrifices for everything for the other people. But the sanguine temperament person will never sacrifice. He always want to have a fun. They are good at decisions and have a strong sense of responsibility. They take decision very fast, and they have that responsibility what they taking that decision. They adhere to the rules and they need very little control over the lives and behavior of others. They don't want to control anyone's life and behavior. If the melancholic temperament, parents also don't want to control their children. In the office also, they come to office, they do their work, they take some decision, and they complete their work. They go off. They don't mix up with the other people. But in the other side, the choleric temperament person want to control everyone. He wants everyone to be under his control. The next. The melancholic is often a great benefactor to his fellow men. They help a lot to other people. He guides others to God, is a good counselor in difficulties, and a prudent, trustworthy, and well-meaning superior. He has great sympathy with his fellow men and keen desire to help them. Sanguine temperament will show the sympathy, but it is a flirting type of sympathy. Choleric temperament person don't have any sympathy, but melancholic temperament person will be having a sympathy which is having a genuine sympathy. If somebody, their friends are not well, this person all the way go help, don't look at his work also. So this melancholic temperament will be having a very less friends, but these are the people whom the friends can trust with and they can keep a trust on this person. So these are the rubrics for melancholic temperament. Elements from grief, conscious about trifles, sentimental, fastidious, brooding, industrious, company aversion to. Their company was desire in choleric temperament. Here company aversion to, mildness, sympathetic, hypochondriasis, suicidal tendency because they're intellectual, they think a lot, thoughtful. So remedies like nitramue, ignatia, aromat would indicate for some of the characteristics of melancholic temperament. So the sanguine temperament is a person who is on the front row. The next is a choleric temperament, a person is a boss, and a melancholic temperament is a person who make all the rules and regulations. So in all the temperament, melancholic and a choleric temperament will be a good friends. Melancholic temperament not required a choleric temperament, but choleric temperament required a melancholic temperament in all his decision. Actually, if boss is really belongs to choleric temperament, he make it a point next melancholic temperament to be sit to him so that whatever the decisions are making, they are correct or no. And these two temperament will never like a sanguine temperament because sanguine temperament speaks a lot and these two temperament don't want to speak more. The next. Next comes the very slow temperament, phlegmatic temperament. Keywords are introvert, watcher, and pessimistic. Two temperaments are extrovert, sanguine and choleric. Introvert are now melancholic and phlegmatic temperament, watcher and pessimistic. That person is thinker, he is a watcher. Why is watcher? We'll learn. The next. Phlegmatic temperament person with the phlegmatic temperament are extremely slow, paced and stubborn. This temperament goes through life doing as little as possible, quietly and expending little energy. Only sleep can regenerate the phlegmatic. They are the one who are not ruffled by anything. They don't cause trouble. They easily get along with others and they don't have any enemies. They don't have any enemies because they don't go forward only. They don't cause trouble to other people. ये ऐसे रहते हैं ना, हम भी काम नहीं करेंगे, तुम भी काम मत करो. They are the very slow kind of the people. The next. He is very much inclined to ease and to eating and drinking. He is lazy and neglects his duties. He always, whatever the work is given, no, he just look who can work this work. That much lazy temperament is the whole temperament is a phlegmatic temperament. He has no ambition, does not aspire a lofty things if he has to work hard for it. He usually leaves if he want to. He feels that he has to work more. These people don't want to think also. If ये लोग ऐसे करते ना, खाना भी कोई खिलाए तो अच्छा रहेगा, उतना इजी गोइंग लोग रहते हैं ये लोग. He has an unwillingness to become involved, tends to be an observer rather than a participant. These are the watchers. They sit at the corner somewhere and they watch what other people are doing. He has indecisiveness, tendency to procrastinate, and he is very difficult to motivate. He might give up halfway through a project if he feels there is too much efforts are involved. These people go halfway and they leave. They feel that there is too much of efforts are required, so in between they leave it. And it is very, very difficult to motivate them. They are very lazy people who cannot think also how you can motivate them. So next. The phlegmatic works slowly. If his work does not require much thinking, they are very good worker at the clerical level. The clerical staff who are there, there is no thinking, nothing is there. Somebody tells them, you give this paper to from this person to that person, they can go and give that person and sit there for half an hour to regenerate again energy. These are the people who can give you with the pen and pencil and the ruler to tell that you have to draw a line between these things. They draw a line very easily because it is sitting, no much thinking, no energy is wasted there. He is not easily experimented either by offenses or by failure or suffering. He remained composed, thoughtful, deliberate, and has a cold, sober, and a practical judgment. He has no intense passions, does not demand much of life. इनको लाइफ से कुछ नहीं चाहिए रहता है. जिंदगी चल रहा है, चलने दो. This belongs to a phlegmatic temperament. So next. So these are the rubrics for phlegmatic temperament: mental work, dullness, sluggishness, confidence want of, childish, irresolute, indolent, aversion to work, mildness, timidity, ideas deficiency of. Remedies like calcarea, Brayataka, pulsatilla will predominantly be of phlegmatic temperament. Most carbons would belong to this temperament. These are the people who are the watcher. They can sit at the corner, they watch the things. So who will be the friends now? As choleric and melancholic temperament becomes a friend, same thing, the sanguine and phlegmatic temperament people can be a friends. Why? Sanguine person want to speak and the phlegmatic person want to watch. So whatever the gossips are there, the sanguine temperament get all the things from the phlegmatic temperament, because phlegmatic temperament is sitting at the corner, he watch everything what is going around them. So these two people belongs very good friend. But choleric temperament will never like a phlegmatic temperament, because this person is very slow in action and they don't have any aim in their life. The next. Next comes about the nervous temperament. Keyword: introvert, anxious, and pessimistic. So nervous means they are very anxious, pessimistic, and introvert. The next. Person with this type of temperament may be undisciplined and forgetful. They take a lot of undue stress as they lack confidence. They are always on the edge and hyper, bordering on depression. These are the people who are always on the edge. Something goes wrong, immediately they make it as a big issue because they don't have a confidence. They take lot of stress. They are impatient and hurried. Whatever the work is they are doing, they do it very hurry and they are very impatient. They are indecisive, hesitant, timid, and messy. Such people can never make up their minds and their decision can be changed easily. Their decision can be changed easily. Like sanguine temperament, you can excite easily. These people also get excite easily, but these the people decision can be changed. But the melancholic temperament decision we cannot change. Choleric temperament decision cannot be changed. But this nervous temperament decision can be changed. Some of their other traits are haphazard, inconsistent, and unpredictable. These people are unpredictable. You cannot predict them when they are happy and sad. You may go and tell some side news, they may be their reaction will be different. And if you tell something happy news, the reaction will be different. These are unpredictable. When they will shout on you, when they are into depression, what is going on, don't know. In fraction of a second, the nervous temperament person's mood changes. The next. Tremendous anxiety, which lowers down their potential. They perform by their fear instead of their capabilities. The choleric temperament is a doer who perform according to their capability and their work, but this nervous temperament person work or they do their performance because of their fear. Very pessimistic in their approach. They always think negative. Out of their negative minds, they turn extremely cautious towards their problem. Excessive obsessed with their health and seems to unnecessarily dwells on it. They always think about their health. Something goes wrong, they feel that it is only because of these are the things I am suffering from this disease. And they go on doing the investigation, they visit to a doctor, on and on. The next. Not very good decision makers and can be swayed easily and their resolutions by authoritative people. So these are the people decisions cannot be they easily can be changed and they do not take the good decision. Cannot take any change in life very easily. Choleric temperament usually change any changes are there in life easily. This nervous temperament will not tolerate any change happens in the life because they follow the same routine. If this paper is here, they have to keep this paper here only. If it changes, automatically they become more anxious. In examination, nervous temperament person, all of you know. A situation like what would disturb the person? Unpredictable. They're not sure themselves as to whether they will go east or west. They don't know what they are going. Whatever the people tell, according to that, they go from right to left, left to right, east to west, west to east. It depends on the person with whom they are accompanied. The next. They are punctual with appointments because of their fear, because of their anxiety. They are very punctual with their appointment. Whatever the time is given, 5 minutes before they will reach to that. Always well prepared for the present before a presentation. Because of that fear, they always prepare their presentation very good, very alert while approaching to any problem. Any problem comes, they will be very alert. If they are encouraged, they would make a good speakers. If you encourage, because they are punctual, they prepare very good in their presentations and very alert of the whatever the problem is they are going to face. If we encourage them, they are going to be a good speaker because nervous temperament is a person who gives their heart to work anywhere. The next. So these are the rubrics for the nervous temperament: anticipation, confidence wants off, confusion of mind, starting startled, hurry, impatience, hypochondriasis, fears, timidity, restlessness. Remedies like argentum nitricum, gelsemium, arsenic stand for this nervous temperament. This temperament will usually these temperament people, if the choleric is a boss, melancholic is going to be a rule maker, phlegmatic temperament who is a clerk, the sanguine temperament in a fourth place. Then where you keep nervous temperament? If really a choleric temperament is a boss, he keeps the nervous temperament as his personal secretary or the someone who can manage his diaries very well. Because if I am a boss, if nervous temperament person is my assistant, more than my presentation, he is more anxious. He will go through all the presentations so that the boss cannot face any difficulty. He make a person to come in time. That is why these people usually fix are good to be a personal secretaries or the person who can maintain everything properly. The next. So it is obvious like that some of the rubrics will overlap. We cannot tell that the one person belongs to sanguine or melancholic or the phlegmatic. Some of the people are having a mixed kind of temperament also. Like that, some of the temperament you may be seen that some of the rubrics are overlapping. Thus the projection of the symptom may be the same in different temperament types, but the reason behind it may vary. For example, the rubric restlessness is common to almost all the temperament, but the reason behind the restlessness is different in each one. So we realize that the sanguine restlessness stems from an enthusiasm to do more and the new things, to have a more fun. But the nervous temperament restlessness stems for the lack of confidence and fear. So some of the rubrics are overlapping in the sanguine as well as choleric or some way. One example is that the sanguine restlessness is due to their enthusiasm and the nervous restlessness is due to the lack of confidence and fear. The next. Another example would be the rubric industrious. A choleric industriousness emanates from getting work done through the others, whereas the melancholic industriousness is self-imposed. That already we learned that choleric temperament is a person who make people to work. That is why he is industrious. But the melancholic temperament person, industriousness is self-imposed. In a melancholic patient, being an introvert would be being reserved. Melancholic introvert means being reserved. In a phlegmatic patient, it could be out of timidity. If you would have a common situation and 10% around, everybody's expression and the reaction would differ. If you give one time, one situation, and all the temperaments are standing, each and every temperament reaction toward that situation is different. So that is the reason whatever the rubrics are there we are taking, but we have to identify what is the reason behind that. The next. So repertory, how the temperaments are depicted. Nair's repertory in the chapter Stages of Life and Constitution. They mention choleric temperament, melancholic temperament, nervous temperament, and phlegmatic temperament. In complete repertory chapter Mind, choleric temperament, phlegmatic temperament, and sanguine temperament. The next. In Robin Murphy's repertory, choleric constitution, melancholic constitution, nervous constitution, phlegmatic constitution, and sanguine constitution. And in Lippe's repertory, to the more characteristic symptoms, it is choleric temperament and phlegmatic temperament. Clinical repertory by J.H. Clark, they mentioned about the nervous temperament and the sanguine temperament. So why these rubrics I'm mentioning, like it is only because they're given the direct rubrics to understand about the temperament in these repertories. The next. So in short, sanguine is the one who talk. Choleric is the one who is more action oriented. Melancholic is the one who ponders. Phlegmatic is the one who just watches the scene. Nervous is the one who, while looking at the scene, get agitated and tense. One situation is there, sanguine temperament talk about that. Choleric temperament think that how can I help whatever the situation is going on, how I can make it. Melancholic start thinking why this situation is created. Phlegmatic just want to watch, and the nervous temperament looking at that situation, he become agitated and tensed. The next. So how temperament help us? Temperament can be used as a filter to arrive at the final description after the repertorial list is ready. So make it a point, we cannot prescribe remedies on the temperament. Temperament is the only tool and one of the way to reach towards the symptom. By incorporating temperament in your case taking, you can understand the patient better, and thus you vibe at his wavelength and make him open up to you more easily. Sanguine temperament person come and sit in front of you. You have to speak. If melancholic temperament person comes, you must know how to take the case because he is thinking. You may not hurry him. Choleric temperament person comes, you have to listen what they are telling, otherwise they will not get satisfied. Phlegmatic temperament person comes, then you have to give it time to think. Nervous temperament person comes, then you have to make them to tell everything and make them console easily. The next. The management of each individual case is thus tailor-made to suit the patient concerned. Hence, you give measured, detailed instruction to the nervous temperament. You have to give a detailed instruction to the nervous temperament. Know fully well that any instruction given to a phlegmatic temperament will be floated. You give any instruction to the phlegmatic temperament, they will not follow that. But nervous temperament, you have to give a full instruction and answer all the queries of choleric to his satisfaction. This will ensure success in your practice. So, to be successful in practice, we have to understand which temperament patient belongs to because it is one of the tools to give the minimum. Along with that, in the management of the cases for nervous temperament, you have to give everything properly and give the instruction. And whatever you are telling, you must not change it. Sometimes it happens like while telling, once we tell something different and second time we change the wording also, that also affects the nervous temperament. Phlegmatic temperament, whatever you are going to tell, they are not going to follow the instruction. But choleric temperament, whatever the queries are there, you have to answer all the queries, then only they are going to take the medicine. The next. The Matre Medica is made easy to grasp as this study helps to differentiate one remedy from the other effortlessly. To understand about each and every drug, sometimes it happens like we get messed up like how to differentiate. But this temperament makes us to grasp easily. The understanding of each remedy given in any particular rubric is also made lucid. You avoid becoming myopic in your practice if you know the temperament very well. This will help widen our horizon in terms of letting you consider many potential remedies which had been difficult to entertain in your thought process in the past. The next. So, how homeopath to be best homeopath? Answer is, the homeopath is expected to be phlegmatic in receiving the case. You must not speak, you have to receive the case. Okay? Sanguine in his approach to the patient so that you can speak. You have to be social, you have to give positive vibe, you have to enthusiase other people to speak to you. Melancholic in analyzing it, to form a totality of symptom, to form a analysis of the symptom, to understand about the miasm of the person, you have to be melancholic. Choleric in your final description because you are a boss, you think, and whatever the things are going on, you have to select the remedy based on your confidence or your knowledge which you have already learned, and at no stage is he expected to be nervous. If you become a nervous, you are not going to be a good homeopath. The next. So many people spoke about their personalities like our master Samuel Hahnemann, Nair, Stortclose, Herbert Robert, but Dr. Parina Subranwala elaborately explained in her book Temperaments in Types. Every book mentioned about 1 or 2 paragraphs or maybe 2 to 3 pages, but Madam Dr. Parina Subranwala explained in length about the temperament. So these are the references I have taken from these books. The next. So this in short, I explained about temperament, its types, and how practically we can utilize about this temperament. So thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Lingaraja sir, for nicely correlate the study of the temperament in terms of the materia medica, organon, and repertory. So I will start with the concluding remarks of the webinar, sir. Today's topic, which is very important regarding the temperament and its practical utility. Sir has started with the differentiation of the temperament with the theory of the constitution, then diathesis. What do you mean by diathesis? The person in bone state that is disposing to disease. Then theory of constitution, that is mental and general, temperament and personality. Under physicals, that is general and diathesis, that is rheumatic, hemorrhagic, gouty, and bilious, psychological and biological organization, which is peculiar to individual, that brings on disorders. So temperament, that is real me in personality, where we walk, where we talk, that is attire, that is clothes. So nicely correlation of the temperament with the personality. Sir has started with the different types of the temperament regarding the sanguine, choleric, melancholic, and phlegmatic. And regarding the strength of the sanguine, that is extroverted, talker, optimistic, and weaknesses, that is jealousy, envy. Regarding the rubrics correlation in terms of the repertory for the sanguine temperament, that is loquacious, vivacious, cheerful. Remedy correlationship in terms of the materia medica, that is Ferrum phos, lachesis, and Coffea cruda. So second temperament, that is choleric temperament, that is dominating, doer, adventurous, and weakness of the choleric, that is superiority complex, anger, deceitful, and strength of the choleric, that is successful in terms of the professional work, needs activity, full of courage, very courageous personality. So in terms of the rubric formation in contrast with the repertory, the choleric is having ailments from anger and vexation, censorious, happy, deceitful, impatient. Rubric in materia medica, we are having lycopodium, veratrum, bryonia. So next temperament, that is melancholic temperament, that is appreciative by the intelligence, that is the strength, creativity, very fastidious. So we have to judge the remedy under the melancholy, that is natrum mur, ignatia, aurum metallicum. Regarding the phlegmatic, next temperament, patient is lazy, neglect his duty, very good in very good works in clerical, they are suited to the clerical jobs. Regarding the phlegmatic, the rubrics, that is ailments from mental work, irresolute, indecisive, dullness. Next temperament, that is nervous temperament, patient is introvert, undisciplined, unpredictable. The rubrics of nervous temperament, that is anticipation, restlessness, timidity, hurry. So we have to find out regarding the restlessness, regarding the industriousness. Sir is nicely explained. We have to find out which temperament is involved with the common in all types of the temperament, but we have to presenting with the expression of the individual, with the expression of the patient only. So reaction of the temperament is different from person to person. So you can understand the patient better in incorporating the case taking only. So sir, I am very thankful to on behalf of Parul University to give the nicely correlation of the temperament with practical utility in terms of the organon as well as materia medica in repertorial approach. Now I invite Principal of Parul Institute of Homeopathy and Research, Dr. B.P. Panda sir, to give vote of thanks. Over to Dr. Panda sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mehta. I am very much thankful to our today's speaker, Dr. Lingaraj Magadum. He is from Belgavi. Nicely presented, extensive presentation of temperament. I, on behalf of Faculty of Homeopathy, Parul University, and on my own behalf, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to Honorable Speaker for gracing the occasion and sharing with us his vast experience in the topic temperament and its practical utility. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation to Dr. Lingaraj B. Magadam sir for his brief and precise explanation with reportorial presentation to justify the topic. Further, we are grateful to Lingaraj sir for presenting nicely the rubrics, forms, and the use of temperament in different practical aspects. I may like to express our sincere thanks to Magadam sir for giving an excellent coverage in this respect. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks to President of Parul University, Dr. Devanshu Patel sir, Director Dr. Komal Madam, for their motivation and encouragement to conduct such webinar series for our stakeholders. It requires teamwork with dedication. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated colleagues. I extended my gratitude to the Dean of the Faculty, Dr. Purab Desai, Principal, Jawaharlal Nehru Homeopathy Medical College, Chairman, Dr. Hina Rawal Madam, and my dear colleague, Dr. Mehta Sahab, Principal, Rajkot Homeopathic Medical College, for cooperating to make it success. I am very much thankful to our support system, Mr. Brijesh Acharya sir, OST, and Mr. Jiten sir, for cooperating for their logistic support. I am very much thankful to all the viewers for listening and making all the webinars which have been conducted by our faculty. We have already completed 25 webinars, and who are helping us directly and indirectly to making this type of webinar series successful. Again, I hope the same cooperation in future from sir. Thank you very much. Thank you all for listening and joining with us. Over to Mehta sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. We can leave, sir.
Yes, sir.
We
Thank
can
you.
leave.